You ever get annoyed when you're on Instagram and you see someone posting some political activist post that's all about, oh, we need to do this, we need to end whatever problem that's going on, and you just think, like, how are you actually contributing to social change? Like, are you doing anything of value? Like, every time I see one of these posts, I think that they're like grifting, they're just trying to make themselves look good, woke, or politically involved by just simply posting something. Like, that's like the most minimal effort thing ever. And I just, the reason I bring this up is because, well, we just went through probably the most contentious election cycle ever. And I mean, through that chaotic mess, it got me thinking about, like, my generation, Gen Z, and what the future of politics in America is going to look like specifically. Um, so, one thing that I've noticed in my generation, and in myself, admittedly, is that there's a lot of apathy, that, like, people don't give a shit about anything these days. Like, you can ask anybody about political issues or anything pertaining not anything that pertains not to their immediate experience of life, and 95% of the times, though, they won't give you an answer because they simply don't care. um, I think that's partially due to us being raised on the internet, where we've seen so many things that children should never see, and that's desensitized us. I also want to talk about um, how there's, like, no more civics class in public high schools. Like, before, there used to be a class of civics about how you can participate in the political process. And I think that's something that the elites have removed under the guise of, yes, political apathy is something that we want, because because, like, if less people participate, then it's easier to influence the direction of the country. I think I think that, like, the Republican Party is especially supportive of that, because um, in the modern day, their agenda is not conducive to most of the population of the country. Um, so what I think is that, like, if if Gen Z is keeps this up, and we're more apathetic and don't care, then that means this small group of people in the US is going to have larger influence. And I think you've seen that with what happened in the 2024 election cycle. So I do believe that there's also media brainwashing. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about, like, just Gen Z, and how, like, I just wonder what the political arena is going to look like in, like, 20, maybe 50 years, when we're not 50 years, maybe 20, 30 years, when we're, like, middle aged, and, like, 40 and 50 with, like, families and stuff. Like, that's just going to be so weird for me to think about. um, because I think that my generation is extremely immature. um, I'm not saying that I'm not. I'm definitely pretty immature. And I kind of feel like there is no way that we can inherit the world and not fuck it up, you know? Like if Gen X and boomers screwed the world over with climate change, then Gen Z is gonna screw it up with probably something worse. I don't know what it is, but I'm betting right now. Like you heard it here first. Gen Z is gonna we're gonna screw up the planet. Either nuclear war or something else. AI being our overlords or something. But yeah, I mean, what the political arena is gonna look like. People are gonna do TikTok dances at debates or like use Gen Z slang on like a national stage. Like that's just I can't even comprehend that. Like it's just too cringe for me to fathom. Do I see it? Do I see an like a way out? I mean, yeah, I think that we have to be um, more politically informed. You know, it's not just internet reading headlines on Snapchat News or BuzzFeed. Like actually, like poring over, like researching who controls the country right now, who are the lobbyists, who are the backers, what interests are being heard the loudest, aka who has the most money, and how we can use the political process, especially through local elections, to develop a more equitable and just a better society where the corporate interests aren't represented first, but rather the people. And I think it's possible. I mean, when you see like the protests with Palestinian protests at USC, also the recent ones with Trump and ICE. I think we're going in the right direction. But too often I see that we slide back into um, self promotion and a you versus them mentality too, where it's like, oh, if you don't support us, then you're racist, homophobic, whatever, whatever. And that's also not the way to go. Like we need to find. Yes, we need to protest. We need to do all this showy stuff, but we also do need to do the boring stuff, like pressuring our lawmakers to actually listen to us and um, not be in bed with Apple, Meta, Pepsi, Amazon, all these companies. So yeah, I don't know. It's just something I've been thinking about, and I welcome any comments or suggestions about what you think of this topic. Kind of all over the place, but to summarize, I'm worried about the political apathy in this country and what that means for the future, especially concerning Gen Z in America. So, yeah, thanks for listening, guys.